short-staffed at practice, Coach. Can you bring us up to speed on 18 and 72?
Yeah, 72, a fracture in his hand. I don't know if we've set the timeline, but likely not going to play. Timmy, lower body today. We'll see if he can go tomorrow. If not, what you saw out there today will be the lineup.
When you say you're not sure, do you mean for the rest of the season for Thomas?
Yeah, they haven't given me the official line, but I mean a fracture in the hand typically, is around that timetable, and there would be no point. You wouldn't play him, if he was healthy for 2 games at the end or whatever the case may be. But that very likely could be the case.
If that's the case, how do you go forward with your defenseman? Who do you want to see? How do you play this out?
Well, Mete certainly will draw in here. And then, if guys continue to get hurt, obviously that'll be Pierre's decision as to who comes up, which young guys come up. After the deadline, we all know you have 4 recalls, only 4 recalls unless it's emergency. So Pierre will use those accordingly. And obviously if guys get hurt, guys will come up and get minutes.
Sanderson seems like he's running into some injury problems as well. I know the plan was for him to be here, but what do you know about that?
Yeah, I don't know the official word on that, but it looks like it's going to be delayed. I guess it's contagious this year. Found its way all the way to North Dakota, I guess. But I really look forward to getting him here and him joining this group. And, the sooner he can get out there and get these minutes, the better it is for him and the better it is for us. We think he's a huge part of the future, obviously. 5th overall pick, and a guy that's, people have talked highly of, maybe the best player right now outside the NHL, prospect-wise, we think anyways, and some people do. So the sooner he gets here, the better. But again, he's got to be healthy to play.
Your first reaction, at Dan's question, seemed to be one of disbelief. Are you at the point now where you just can't believe everything that's going on?
Yeah, no, it is what it is. But in saying that, and we talked as a group this morning, when Shabby went out, it was a huge hit to us. I could just feel it on the bench emotionally. He does so many things. If you're a forward and you want the puck, Shabby's the guy who gets it to you all game. And, there was a huge letdown. The word got out in the room after 1 that Shabby wouldn't be returning and what the injury was. He's a huge part, not only of our core, and play-wise, him and Brady, captains, co-captains, he's a huge piece. And I guess it's just been so many this year. It's what are you going to do, though? Like, there's harder things in the world, and we talked about it today. There's a guy that's, going to work today as a mechanic that's not feeling good, that something didn't go right for him either, but he works 65 hours with 4 kids, and he puts 100% effort in, and that's what we're going to do. The remainder of these games, we have 2 till the deadline, and we're going to play all 22 as hard as we can. And regardless of who's there, there's no need to feel sorry for yourself. There's people in this world that are in way tougher spots than this, and we're going to give everything we have. Fans pay good money to come here, and we're going to give everything we have.
On the ice, we see what you can do. There's only so much. You have the players, you play them, but away from the ice, do you rely on some players to more heavily to get through a period like this and to rally around?
Yeah, for sure. A guy like Holden that's been in the league, who's been on teams that have been, close to winning the cup, and he's also been on rebuilding teams, and he's been on young teams, he's been on old teams. But you also got to think of a guy like Gadet, say, or Mete, or when these guys get hurt, it's their chance. It's their playoffs, and you're going to see, and that's why I think you see at the end of the year after the deadline, some teams play, a lot harder or play better because you got guys that are playing for their life and they want to stay in the NHL, and I think you're going to see that, and I think, hopefully we get some guys back, with Drake and hopefully Timmy plays. But you're going to see some guys that are doing everything they can to stay in the league. And a guy like Gadet, a guy like Mete, these guys, I think you'll see their best hockey.
I should probably, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, you say it's a fractured hand. Is it just a matter of healing up, or is he going to need surgery? How extensive is that?
I didn't hear anything about surgery, but I'm not, we didn't talk in length about it. Just know that he's unavailable to me for any time soon. So, I think the organization will probably put something out about the exact and everything that's going to happen. But I just know he's not available.
World Championships in May.
Yeah, probably not. At this point, why, he wouldn't have skated. He wouldn't have done any of those things. So, like I said, it's unfortunate for us as a coaching staff. You want the best players. I think you asked Scotty Bowman, he always says, coach the best team, you can be the best coach. You want all those, but in saying that, it's an exciting time for a guy like Brandstrom. What did he play? I think he played 30 minutes last night or something. Where is he ever going to get that opportunity to play Shabby's minutes or, first unit power play and all these things? So with the bad comes the good. And all you can do is wait for all the pieces to be back. But as a coaching staff, all we can do is push these guys every day to play as hard as we can.
And then Tim Stützle, I don't know if we want to move on, but he's got lower body. Do you know his timeline on when he could be back?
We're hopeful he could play tomorrow. Like, he's not long term. He could, but if he's not 100%, I'm not going to put him out there. So, selfishly as a coach, you want to push him to be out there. And he's certainly going to help you win games. But at what cost? I'm not putting a young kid at risk if he's not 100%. I'm just not going to do it.
I probably should have asked you this last night in the game. Just remember Forsberg took the the delay of game.
Yeah.
Shoots it out. Artem Zub ended up serving that penalty, and I'm just curious because he's a regular penalty killer for you. What was the thought process in having Zub serve that penalty?
Well, because the guys on the ice at the time was Brown and Formanton, who were, arguably our two best killers maybe up front. So you got to serve somebody that was on the ice. So who was the other guy that was on the ice? Holden, I think.
Yeah, I think it was
Holden and Zub. So one of those four, they're all big time penalty killers for us. But 5-on-3 wise, we usually go with Connor Brown's the first guy that goes out there 5-on-3. And if you can kill it, or you got Zaitsev and you got Holden and you got Josh Brown, they're all good 5-on-3 killers as well. So if you can kill it, you got Formie for the 5-on-4, and he's probably, he's our most dangerous killer up front, him and Brownie. So it's a gut call, but I just think we had more available D at that time than we did to take a guy like Formie and put him in the box. And I certainly wasn't putting Connor Brown in the box, being our number one killer 5-on-3 against, that is.
And I just want to ask you about your goaltending for this weekend. And is there any part of you in the organization that might want to see Philip Gustafsson on a Saturday night at the Bell Center with, kind of that, to see what he would do there in terms of being pressure tested or ready to go? Or
You got me so excited, I think I'll do it. Yeah, he's scheduled to play there Saturday night. I'm not, Forzy's going to go tomorrow, and Gus will go Saturday night in Montreal. There's no, we're not hiding anybody from anyone. We want to see what he can do. We want to see it, under high pressured situations. And these kids will play, and they'll play lots down the stretch. And I think you'll see them respond with a lot of energy and effort. And like I said, these people pay money to come here. We're going to give them an effort every night.
What do you need to do that you didn't do last night?
Score. Got to score in this league. I mean, I went back over the chances, the analytics this morning. Everything's pretty even. I think they had two more chances than us. But at the end of the day, we put ourselves in a hole with the 5-on-3 and giving up shots and chances, and we taxed our goalie. But you got to score. Essentially, we give up 3 goals, an empty netter, but we only got 1. So you're not going to win the game with 1 goal. Power play had to be better than it was last night. But in defense to that, Shabby goes out in the game. Now you got Brandy running a different unit than he ran in the morning. Different players, different setup, different hands. So, he gets, to know before the game kind of what he's doing. So if our power play scores, yesterday when it's 1-1, maybe we got a different game. Our power play is going to have to be a big part of us scoring. And obviously having Drake back here shortly is going to help us there. And then we need more 5-on-5 scoring. A lot of our dangerous chances come shorthanded or from the Kachuk Norris line. We need more chances coming from, lower in the lineup.